At 93 years old, Hollywood legend Angie Dickinson has finally broken her silence about her experiences with the iconic Western star Randolph Scott, a man she describes with deep respect and quiet admiration. Born Angeline Brown on September 30th, 1931, in Cullum, North Dakota, Angie's early years were rooted in modesty, discipline, and strong Midwestern values. Her father, Leo Henry Brown, a newspaper publisher, instilled in her a love for words and storytelling, while her mother, Frederica, nurtured her poise and grace. When the family relocated to Burbank, California, Angie's world transformed from small-town simplicity to the dazzling proximity of Hollywood. Initially, she never intended to become an actress. She studied business at Immaculate Heart College and dreamed of becoming a writer or editor. But fate intervened when her stunning looks and charisma caught the eye of casting directors after she competed in a local beauty pageant. Soon, the young woman from North Dakota found herself in front of cameras, determined to prove she was more than just a pretty face. Her breakout came in 1959 when she starred opposite John Wayne, Dean Martin, and Ricky Nelson in Howard Hawks' classic Rio Bravo. As the witty and alluring Feathers, Angie captivated audiences with her charm, wit, and natural sensuality, commanding respect alongside Hollywood's toughest men. That role made her a star and opened the doors to a career that spanned decades. She refused to be typecast, shifting seamlessly between film noir, crime dramas, and romantic thrillers, always delivering performances rich with emotional depth. The 1960s saw her shine in hits like Ocean's 11, The Killers, The Chase, and Point Blank. But it was television that truly immortalized her. In 1974, she starred as Sergeant Suzanne Pepper Anderson in Police Woman, one of the first TV dramas to feature a female cop in a leading role. Angie's portrayal was groundbreaking, strong, intelligent, and empathetic, paving the way for future generations of actresses. Her work earned her a Golden Globe and cemented her place in Hollywood history. Off-screen, Dickinson's personal life was equally fascinating. She first married Gene Dickinson, a former football player turned businessman, in 1952. But as her fame grew, the marriage crumbled under the weight of distance and demanding careers. They divorced in 1960, though Angie kept his surname, which became an integral part of her professional identity. During this period, she developed close friendships with renowned intellectuals, including economist John Kenneth Galbraith and his wife, Catherine. Her visits to India, while the Galbraiths served as U.S. ambassadors, revealed Angie's curiosity about the wider world and her appreciation for culture beyond Hollywood's glitz. Then, in 1965, she found love again, this time with legendary composer Burt Bacharach. Together, they were one of Hollywood's most glamorous couples, blending cinema and music in a romance that fascinated the public. They married in a private ceremony and welcomed their daughter Nikki in 1966. Nikki, however, was born with autism, a condition not well understood at the time. Angie devoted her life to her daughter, learning patience and compassion in ways that reshaped her perspective on fame and motherhood. She often said Nikki taught her more about love than any film or award ever could. Tragically, Nikki died by suicide in 2007 at the age of 40, a loss that shattered Angie and Burt, who, despite divorcing in 1981, remained bonded by their shared grief and love for their child. Burt Bacharach passed away in 2023, leaving behind a legacy of timeless music and memories that Angie continues to cherish. Now, at 93, Angie Dickinson remains one of Hollywood's most enduring icons, graceful, sharp-witted, and unapologetically candid. In a recent interview, she finally opened up about her experiences with Randolph Scott, the legendary Western star known for his stoic demeanor and commanding screen presence. Randolph Scott was a professional in every sense of the word. Angie said, her voice carrying both warmth and reverence. He commanded attention without ever demanding it. He made everyone on set feel respected, even though he was always the star. She recalled moments from the set when Scott would quietly diffuse tension and bring calm to chaotic situations. There was a day when everything was going wrong, she remembered. The schedule was behind, tempers were high, and Randolph just smiled, took control, and lightened the mood. He had that kind of quiet authority that made people want to follow his lead. Her words paint a portrait of a man far different from the stoic cowboy fans saw on screen. To Angie, Scott was kind, grounded, and deeply professional, qualities that earned her lifelong respect. Back then, Hollywood was different, she reflected. There were strict rules, hierarchies, and expectations, especially for men like Randolph. But he carried himself with dignity. He treated everyone equally, from the leading lady to the crew. When asked about working alongside him, she admitted, "It was exhilarating and intimidating all at once. You knew you were standing beside a master of his craft, but he never made you feel overshadowed. He encouraged you to bring your best to every scene." Dickinson also addressed the endless myths surrounding old Hollywood stars. There are always stories, some true, some not, about men like Randolph Scott, she said. What I can say is that he was real. He was authentic. He cared deeply about his work and the people around him. For Angie, speaking about Scott now wasn't just nostalgia, it was an act of remembrance. It's important to honor the people who shaped us, she concluded. Randolph Scott was one of those people for me. This feels like the right time to give him the recognition he deserves, not just as a star, but as a man of character. At 93, Angie Dickinson's reflections are more than memories. They're living history. Her voice carries the echoes of a bygone era, one where integrity, humility, and artistry defined greatness. In finally speaking up about Randolph Scott, she reminds the world that behind Hollywood's glamour were real people. Complex, kind, and deeply human. Her words serve as both tribute and testimony, ensuring that the legends she knew will never fade into silence.